Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ebony. I am a human design expert and coach, and today we are going to be talking about the strengths of the G Center. I put a poll in my community tab. I finally have a community tab because you guys are so amazing, and now I have over 500 subscribers. I'm so excited. But I did a post in my community tab with a poll that was like, what do you guys want to see next? And I think the last time I checked, the G Center one and the PHS one were tied. So the next video that I do will be PHS, or I'll talk about it. No, we're not going to hit the center right now. So this video is going to be the strengths of the G Center. If you are interested in getting a reading with me or any of my other services, I have one-on-one email coaching as well as products, my human design workbooks. I have courses, my money manifestation course, my manifestation in HD course. All of these things are in my description box down below. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested in working with me. And other than that, let's get into the video. I do have notes because I don't want to miss anything. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my computer screen that has my notes on it. So your G Center. The G Center is a very important center in the body because it is your identity center. It houses your sense of direction, your sense of self, your sense of self-love, but also your sense of lovability. So I love me, and I am also worthy of other people loving me. So it's your sense of self-love and your sense of lovability. Biologically, your G Center governs your liver and your blood. So if we're talking like, actual areas in the body, it's your liver and your blood. And energetically, it's your sense of identity, your sense of self, love and livability, purpose, things like that. So there are, the G Center is really important for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is that there are two sides of your human design chart. If you've been following me for a while, then you already know this, but there are two sides to your human design chart. Your personality side, which is your conscious side. This was determined at the moment that you were born, right? And your design side, which was determined around 3 months prior to the moment that you were born. It's 88 degrees. So there's the conscious side, which is your personality side, and your design side, which is your unconscious side. These two sides of your design, they don't like each other. They do not like each other. They do not get along. They are being held together by your G Center. So I'm going to give you an example. Consciously, my conscious personality part of my design is a splenic projector. I have my spleen and my throat defined consciously, right? My personality side, my design side, my unconscious design side of my design, that's interesting, is a pure manifesting generator. My sacral center and my throat are defined unconsciously. So consciously, I am a splenic projector. Unconsciously, I am a manifesting generator. These two parts of my design are being held together by my G Center, which makes me a manifesting generator with a secondary splenic authority. These two parts are being held together by my G Center, by my magnetic monopole, which is housed in the G Center. And that's how everyone's chart is. You have two parts of your design, and when they come together, that determines your overall energy type, like who the illusion of who you are is determined by these two parts of your design coming together and being held together by your G Center and your magnetic monopole. So if that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. It was a little confusing to me when I learned it, so if you have questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. But that is essentially, when I talk about like the illusion, that's what I'm talking about, because it's who we, and this is gonna get very esoteric. I'm gonna save the esoteric stuff for another video, but essentially that's what it is. Okay, so through our G Center, this is the center where we understand ourselves, where we understand what makes us unique, we understand our purpose, we understand who we are. And I mentioned the magnetic monopole. According to Ra Uru Hu, who is the creator, who was the channeler, I guess I should say, of human design. The magnetic monopole connects us to our identity, connects us to our destiny and our movement through space. And this is kind of where, especially, I use this a lot with my manifestation clients. This is where I talk about, shifting realities and things like that. I like to call our G Center our God Center, because this is where a lot of the manifestation, from my interpretation, this is where manifestation takes place. It's in the G Center and also in the throat center. So I can save the manifestation stuff for another video, because I am going to do a video on manifestation human design that is coming. So I will save all of that for that video. But in general, I like to call the G Center our God Center, because it connects us to it connects us to our destiny. Why do I want to say identity? It connects us to our destiny. The magnetic monopole connects us to our destiny. And I personally believe that our desires, the things that we want to manifest on, the physical plane, come through our G Center. That's where they first originate. And that's how we know that we can have them, because we desire them in the first place. And all of our desires come from our God self or our God center. So that's just my personal interpretation of it. Some people will disagree with me, and that's fine, but that's just how I see it. But again, we'll talk about that in the manifestation video. I'm getting off track. Okay, and this is why I had notes so that I wouldn't get off track, but here we are. So now we're going to talk about defined versus undefined. And I do want to make this a disclaimer and make this very, very clear. There is nothing bad or wrong or better or worse about having a defined G Center or having an undefined G Center. Like, if you have a defined G Center, you're better at manifesting. If you have an undefined G Center, then you can't do this. Hell, no. Cut that shit out. Because I see it a lot, and it bugs me. There's nothing bad about having an undefined G Center. There's nothing worse. Like, it's not worse that, worse than someone else that I have an undefined. No. There are strengths to each, and there are things that you may have to work through with each. Nothing is better or worse. So I just want to make that very clear. Each has their own strengths, and each is necessary. There's a reason why we don't all have defined G Centers. There's a reason why we don't have all undefined G Centers. There's a reason, and there is, both are necessary, which is why we're all different, right? So I just want to make that clear, because I've been saying it lately and it bothers me. But anyway, if your G Center is defined, you have a very strong sense of who you are. You have a very strong sense of direction and sense of purpose. And because of this, you are less susceptible to conditioning. Any center that is undefined in your chart, you are vulnerable to conditioning from other people, which we've talked about before. However, when your G Center is defined, that is lessened a little bit, because you have this strong sense and you're very strong and stable in who you know yourself to be. You have less of an opportunity to be conditioned by others. However, it can still happen. It can also happen, the other way. Instead of thinking that you're not enough, you might think that you're too much. Like, who you are is too much for the people around you. So you might try to shrink yourself or make yourself smaller. That's another thing about, your defined centers. It's not always sunshine and roses. You can still be conditioned even in your centers that are defined. So there's that. If you do have a defined G Center, you are less susceptible to conditioning in that way, because you have this feeling, this sense of who you are. You also have a very strong sense of direction and lovability. And not the biggest thing, honestly, I probably shouldn't say that. One of the big things about having a defined G Center is that you are the same person in every situation. Any situation, no matter what people are around, no matter what's actually going on around you, you are the same person. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on yourself to be adaptable or to, change yourself to be comfortable. You can be you and be comfortable in any situation that you're in, because you have that strong sense of self. It's not really your prerogative to shift and be someone different depending on who you're around. And that's okay. It is energetically correct for you to just be who you are in every situation. And what's really interesting is that there's this whole authenticity movement of like, oh, just be who you are and be you in every situation. And for me, having an Undefined G Center, I always felt like I was doing it wrong. I was not being authentic because I wanted to be someone different in every situation. Like, I'd be getting different friend groups and wonder why I felt like I was acting so different in every single friend group. And I'm like, oh, I'm not being authentic. I'm doing it wrong. No, because I have an Undefined G Center. People with defined G Centers, yes, your version of authenticity is going to be the same in every single situation. So if you find yourself thinking like, oh, maybe I should be more adaptable, or maybe I should try and, be more like so-and-so because they get along better with this crowd of people. So maybe if I act more like them, then I'll get, no. That's that's not how you're designed to work. Be you, and you know who that is. You know who you are. You know what being you looks like. So be that in every situation. That is what you are here to do. And your strengths as someone with a defined G Center is that you know who you are. You do have that strong sense of purpose. You're not gonna go through that period of life where I don't know what to do. I don't know my purpose. I don't know why I'm here. I have not encountered anyone with a defined G Center who spent time thinking that they didn't know who they were and they didn't know where to go. They might not have known what the next step was to get there, but they knew where there was. They're like, I don't know what to do next, but I know where the hell I'm going, right? That is your strength as someone with a defined G Center. The things that you desire, the things that you want to do are all extensions of who you know yourself to be. That is your strength. You can rest in the fact, you can rest in the knowing that everything that you desire to do, everything that comes across your path that you decide to pursue is an extension of who you are. So you'll always know if you're on the right track because you can ask yourself, is this going to make me more of who I know myself to be? Is this going to bring me more in alignment with who I know myself to be? If the answer is yes, then do it. That is your strength as someone with a defined G Center. You get to be who you are in every moment. You get to go into every situation without the fear that you are doing something in a way that someone else might want you to do it rather than how you know you want to do it. You get to do that. You get to go through life knowing that every single moment is an extension of who you are. So those are the strengths of having a defined G Center. And honestly, I think it's important to understand that it's okay to be who you are unapologetically. Like this kind of, unapologetically thing has gotten a lot of traction over the years, and I think it's a really good thing. Who you are is more than enough. And if there's people or a person in your life who is trying to make you feel as though you aren't enough, it's either because they don't know who they are, or they're acting out of some kind of conditioning, or they're just not for you. And you get to decide that. So that is that. I hope that made sense. I'm trying not to ramble, and yet here I go rambling. So it is what it is. Someone will put timestamps, I'm sure. Okay, so now, if your G Center is undefined, hello. It's caused me a lot of stress before I knew about human design. And once I learned about human design, I was like, oh, that's why my life has been so interesting. I've always felt like I don't know who I am. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know. And then I found human design and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Okay. If you have an undefined G Center, you are highly adaptable to your environment. You are a chameleon. You are meant to bring out different aspects of yourself depending on the situation, depending on who you're with, depending on the energies around you. You bring out different parts of yourself depending on the situation. It is very important for you to be comfortable in whatever environment that you're in. And that sometimes involves you bringing out different parts of yourself. This is still you being authentic. A lot of people will say, oh, why do you change in different circumstances? Why do you change in different friend groups? Just be who you are. This fucking is who I am. My sense of self is not consistent. And that is, whoever I am in the moment is who I am. Period. Just because who I am may change moment to moment doesn't make that any less of who I am. Like, that is who I am. Whoever I'm is who I am. Period. Like, you know? So if you find yourself in different situations or in different friend groups and you're like shifting and changing and you notice it and you're like, oh, I'm not being authentic. Yes, you are. You are being authentic if you have an Undefined G Center, because that's how you're meant to operate. I used to always go through this when I was in college. There were a few different things that I had going on, but I was like president of a few clubs. I was in a sorority. I was in a debutante cotillion type thing. There were like 4 different versions of me that would show up in each of these circles. In one circle, I was the spiritual friend. In one circle, I was the journalist friend. In one circle, I was like the little sister who everyone was like, like no one would listen to me. In those 3 different circles, in those 3 different situations, I was a different person. But all of those people are still me. I was still showing up authentically because those different aspects that I embodied in those moments were still a core part of who I am. I just brought out different versions in different situations. It doesn't make me inauthentic. It doesn't make me, spacey or not knowing who I am. It is me honoring who I am in the moment, because that is what matters the most for me, having an Undefined G Center. Who am I? Who do I want to be? What aspect of myself do I want to embody in this moment? That's who I am. That is who I am. And that is a big part of having an Undefined G Center, is determining and honoring who you are in that moment and fully embodying it. That is authenticity with an Undefined G Center. Be a chameleon because it's who you are. You change depending on who you're around. You don't need to pressure yourself to be one specific person in all situations. It's just not how you're meant to be. And that is, my God, that's okay. It is okay. It is okay. It's okay. I lost my space. Okay, so God, this is a long video. So your strength, when it comes to having an Undefined G Center, your strength is that you are able to pick up on the identities of other people, and you are able to see the highest versions of the people around you. Like, you can look at someone and it's like you can see all of their potential. You can see who they are very, very clearly. And what you're able to do as someone with an Undefined G Center is guide them towards their higher self. You can help them find their footing. You can help them find their my gosh, I almost said, my words are failing me. You are able to guide other people towards their sense of direction, towards their purpose, towards their sense of self-love, toward their sense of lovability, because you are open there. So you can see all of it and you can guide them through it. Because you are open, you get to see everything that they are. And you get to reflect that back to them. That is the strength in an Undefined G Center, is that you get to help others see their own self-worth. You get to help others see how lovable they are, see how beautiful and amazing their purpose is. You are able to guide others to their own sense of authenticity because you experience your own authenticity so much and in so many different ways. You're able to guide people to that feeling that you experience all the time in different ways, right? you are able to help other people figure out their next steps. That is your gift. And it might, some people are like, oh, so my strength has to be in helping other people. No. It is an honor. It is an honor and a privilege to be different versions of myself in every moment. That is a gift in itself, and that has nothing to do with helping other people. That's me getting to be different versions of me and express all of me in different ways at different times. But along with that, I also get to help other people see what I see in them. Literally see what I see in them. So, if you have a Defined G Center, you know who you are. Own that. Live in that. Revel in that. Understand that if something is a desire for you, if there is something that you want, it is an extension of who you are. And it's meant for you, and it's yours, and it's your job to ensure that you get it. If you have an Undefined G Center, see it as a privilege to embody and embrace so many different parts of yourself at different times. In every different present moment, you get to embody a different version of yourself. And you get to help guide other people towards that sense of authenticity, towards that sense of lovability, toward that sense of self, of who they are. And you get to see their highest self and guide them towards that. So I hope that this made sense. I think I got through everything. So I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I will either make a video on it, or I always respond to your guys' comments. So that. If you are interested in getting a reading with me or purchasing any of my other products or services, the link will be in the description box. I am going to be having a 500 subscriber giveaway. I'll probably make the video sometime today, hopefully. If not today, then tomorrow. And the PHS video will be going up soon as well. So look out for that, and I will see you in the next video.